The San Fernando Valley Peckerwoods just got indicted by the federal government. Let's get into this.
Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Let's get.
So, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, the San Fernando Valley Peckerwoods just got indicted by the federal government. Now, if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think. This is a little different, in my opinion, but we'll get into all the details on that. Also, share the video. Really helps to get the message out. Hit that notification bell so that anytime I go live or I drop a new video, you will be notified. And I should be going live later on tonight, probably 9 or 10 o'clock Cali time. Also, hit that join button and become a member. This is the best way to support the channel. It should be right next to the subscribe tab. If not, then I'm really not sure about that. But anyways, so let's get into it. I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading. So if you see my eyes off a little bit, it's just because I have a lot of notes on this one because I want to make sure I get these details correct. And this is, this is based on an article from KTLA out of Los Angeles. And a lot of these I'm reading what they wrote. So I normally don't mention some of these groups, but they're in the article. And I will, from time to time, I will inject my own opinion based on what I knew back when I was doing time. That's been a while. So as far as current status of what's going on in there, I'm really not sure. But so let's get into it. It says, federal and local law enforcement officials announced court filings and arrests related to an organized crime ring in LA County by a neo-Nazi white supremacist violent extremist organization. A total of 68 people were indicted, 42 of which are already in custody. The Peckerwoods, and I'm quoting, are involved in a wide variety of criminal activity, drug trafficking, fraud, firearms offenses, violence, and identity theft, Estrada said. But what truly distinguishes is their hate and animosity to ethnic and religious minorities. Now, I'm going to inject right there. I do believe the news tries to sensationalize everything, right? And, they're basically, making these guys out like they just hate everybody. But if you listen to the list of charges, it's very vague. Violence. Well, what kind of violence? You know what I mean? Like, who are these religious minorities that they've committed crimes against? Like, this may be, like a belief system, but like, where's the evidence of that? So why are we bringing that up? Because that's something that politicians like to talk about, these white hate groups. The thing is, in, Peckerwoods, right? The term Peckerwood is a solid white guy in prison or in the county jail for that matter. But, the so-called hate groups and some of the stuff that they go on to talk about doesn't sound like Peckerwoods to me. But let's get back into the article a little bit here. So it says many have letters SFV or San Fernando Valley, or a term they like to use, searching for victims. Now, the thing is, SFV isn't the only one that will play on, the SFV is a car in prison, basically. So you have the San Fernando guys, you have the San Gabriel guys, the IEs, the Bakersfields, the Cocoa Counties, the guys from Fresno, the Fresnecs, shout out to them, the Sacramaniacs. Like, you have all these different groups, and like they all have their own little catchphrases or sayings, if you will, to pump their guys up. Like basically, with like when I was doing time, I would have been considered an IE Peckerwood. Okay, so at that time we didn't have, like, there were Peckerwoods on the street, but like we weren't organized like a gang, so to say. And as far as the searching for victims or SFV, like we used to say, when the IE rides, everybody hides. And most of the places I was, the IE wood car was deep, so it kind of made sense. But it's something that we do to pump ourselves up, if you will. And everybody wants to be the strongest or the best or whatever, right? But let me get back to the story here before I get too far off into the weeds. So it goes on to say the Peckerwoods are based in San Fernando Valley, Estrada confirmed, and got their name from a derogatory term used against poor white people and Caucasians in the prison system. Okay, so what the article is saying is the Peckerwoods are based in San Fernando. Like I said previously, though, like there's Peckerwoods all over the state. Basically, it's a term that the white guys like to use. And if you're a stand-up white guy, basically, that's down for your stuff, then you'd be considered a Peckerwood. Okay, so they like to sensationalize stuff in the news. Now they go on to say many of the people that were arrested have tattoos such as swastikas and the number 88, which actually isn't a Peckerwood thing. It's there's another white organization, and it doesn't say this in the article, so I'll let them remain anonymous. If you know, that uses that 88. So the article goes on to say, though, that the San Fernando Peckerwoods use social media to communicate such things as who's in good standings and who's not in bad standings, who needed to be disciplined or even removed from the gang. That seems interesting to me, but social media wasn't nearly as big when I was doing time and when I was out running the streets. And to be honest, like we wouldn't have even put something in a text or on a phone call of that nature. That is would have been more of a face-to-face communication rather than that type of stuff, or maybe a kite if you were in the joint. But let me turn the page here real quick and we'll continue. So it says incarcerated members of the Peckerwood gang have entered an alliance with the notorious Aryan Brotherhood gang. Many Peckerwood members are also Aryan Brotherhood members, officials added. And the question I have to ask on that one is, nowhere in the article does it mention any Aryan Brotherhood members that were indicted, which is very, very interesting to me. Now, this is the article speaking, not me. I'm telling you what the article says. But the newspaper likes to sensationalize things. Don't you think if there were Aryan Brotherhood members caught up in this ring, that they would be blasting their names all over the story? So, from reading the entire article, there's no mention of any of them. And that just leads me to believe that, there was no involvement there. Or, the thing is let me put it this way. Okay, there were 68 indictments, right? And, what? I'll get to that here in just a minute. The indictment unsealed Wednesday by officials alleges racketeering conspiracy against the leadership of the Peckerwoods. So, racketeering and conspiracy charges. against the leadership, the head guys, if you will. Okay, 60 counts of drug trafficking, illegal possession of firearms, uh, the PPP fraud. That was that program during COVID-19 where you could apply for funds from the government to keep your business going if you had employees, and that stuff was widespread. But here's the thing: most defendants face a minimum of 10 years and a maximum of life. Okay, so this is what I want you to think about here. Okay, so 68 indictments, 42 in custody already. Racketeering, conspiracy charges against the leadership. Why do you think they arrested so many people, and why so many people are in part of this indictment? 68 people. People were charged with drug trafficking with small amounts of illegal narcotics. The thing is, what they do with these federal indictments is they throw a wide net and they capture everybody that they can, because you have people that are just getting into this lifestyle that think it's cool to be a gangster, if you will, or that think they're gangsters, but they're not. Then you have the leadership type folks who have been doing this a while, been in and out of prison, have been around and understand the game that they're playing. And like I said, you have these lower level people. It says most defendants face a minimum of 10 years and a max of life. So I want you to think about this. If you thought it would be fun, or you could feed your addiction by, running around with these guys and selling a little bit of dope, basically, and partying with these guys and stuff, and now you're sitting in the county jail, in LA County Jail for that matter, San Fernando Valley, and now you're looking at a minimum of 10. A minimum. Some of these guys, they're going to be throwing major numbers at 50 years, 35 years, life sentences. Some of these guys are two strikers, I'm sure. How many of them do you think are going to roll over? How many have probably already rolled over? That's why they cast the net so wide, because they know some of these people are going to tell on their homeboys. And basically that's what they're doing. So that's what the feds do. And the thing is, with when you get federal indictments, like, they've got you nailed. You have very little chance of beating this. So, somebody that's maybe never been locked up before and is caught up in this stuff, they're telling him, you're going to do 20 years in prison. He's going to say, who do I need to tell on to make this go away? And there's certain people that the feds really want. I don't know no details of the San Fernando Peckerwoods, and shout out to the San Fernando Peckerwoods, but it's the same song everywhere. There was a bust in Yucaipa maybe about 8 months ago. Big bust, same stuff. They do bust of these prison organizations all the time, and their teams on the streets. Like, this is constantly going on. It's cat and mouse. And, sometimes, you get away with it for a while they build their case, and then they throw the book at you. And then certain people decide that they're done and they're going to hang it up and they're going to tell, and everybody else pays the price for it. So let me finish off what I have here from the article. It says they compared the Peckerwoods to a local chapter of the Aryan Brotherhood. Members have committed violent acts against minorities in the LA area. Now, once again, sensationalism of the article. The thing is, the Peckerwoods allegedly are a gang in the San Fernando area, but you also have Hispanic and Black gangs in the San Fernando area. So, but the news likes to throw that white supremacy word around, and that's the biggest threat to our society and all this stuff. This is a small pocket of dudes, 68 dudes, basically in a country of 300 million, you know? So, uh, this stuff happens all the time in LA, in the IE, everywhere, San Fernando, San Gabriel, Valley, wherever. Gangbanging is happening. This just happened to be a white group that, got caught up in a federal indictment. And why there are no big homies on this indictment, that seems strange to me. But, if the big homies that they mentioned earlier were involved, it's going to come out, because there's some people singing right now as we speak. I can guarantee it. You've never done any time. You got 10, 15, 20 years hanging over your head. You're going to say, what do I want to do? I think it's a great day to get sober, like, who do I need to tell on? He made me do it type of stuff. So people are going to roll. It's just the nature of the game. And the big dogs that are playing the game understand that. So that's the story of the day. You know, Shout out to the San Fernando Valley Peckerwoods. Sounds like they were doing their thing out there and they got caught up, like it's what happens. You play the game, this is what happens. So, the thing is, if we don't get involved in these sort of lifestyles and drug abuse and alcohol, then we won't have to worry about getting caught up in some federal indictment and having 37 years hanging over your head. So it's a great day to get sober. If you're new to sobriety, welcome. I believe in you. You can do this. You just got to put one foot in front of the other, and before you know it, you'll be surprised how far you make it. So family, fitness, and freedom are the things that brought me back to reality and gave me a wonderful life with my family and my friends. And it can help you as well. It's just about building that good foundation around you. If you keep people in your life that are, productive members of society, then that's what you're going to be, and you won't have to worry about getting caught up in one of these sort of indictments. So I wish everybody that got caught up in that indictment the best of luck with their court cases, but unfortunately, some people are going to go away for a very long time. Anyways, that's the video for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, share the video. It really helps to get the message out. And the message is about sobriety, guys. So, yeah, that's it. Hit that join button, become a member. It's the best way to support the channel. And like I always say, don't look at the mountain, just start climbing.